Hi, Statesmen Nation. Welcome to another edition of Inside the Playbook. I'm Wade Steinluggy, joined today again by Jared Goodman and Justin Burtis, whoever you guys are over there. Thanks for joining with us today. We're going to get right into it. A bunch of games from last week, starting with men's volleyball getting their second match of the inaugural season underway.
Yeah, they came back. They had a game canceled last Friday, I believe it was, going down to Culverstock. Thursday. So they didn't get to go on the road, didn't get to experience their first road trip, but they'll get to experience it tomorrow. We'll get into that later. But, they hosted a very good Graceland team. This is a team that, they have a lot of experience. They have some size. We have a team full of freshmen. We were kind of outsized a little bit outmatched, but, we just got off to kind of a tough start.
Yeah.
The energy wasn't exactly there. Graceland took advantage of it and took it to us. They took the first set 25-16, but we bounced back and played a really good second set, possibly, the best set that we've played in our two games that we've played. I mean, we really played well, came out with some energy, but we ended up taking that second set 25-17, and then we kind of just couldn't match that energy we had in the second set. We ended up losing the third and fourth set, and so we lost the match 3-1. We were out hitting wasn't really consistent for the men. They only hit at a .051 while Graceland hit .307. Really bright spot for them. Really, Carlos Garcia I thought played really well.
Yeah.
He ended up 10 kills and was very efficient. He hit 300. So a very good outing for him, and really he's played well in the first couple of games here. As a guy that you wouldn't expect to really, he can kind of play.
Yeah, when you're
back
looking
row
at a 5'8" guy, and he's got some ups for sure.
Yeah, he can get up, and he's just very precise where he hits the ball,
Yeah.
and he's not big Ike Paves. He's just going to throw balls down. He's going to really pick his spots and switch it up. And it was also the first time we got to see the two setter formation for the Statesmen, Matt Helmick and Connor Muff. Both played pretty well. I thought Matt played really well. He had 14 assists and. Muff had 9, so really wasn't too much of a drop off between them two. Maybe it was just getting some fresh legs in there from time to time. Coach Bentley, obviously he was. I'm sure he'll talk about this a little bit later, but he understands this is all a big learning experience. He's as competitive as they come. I mean, he really wants to win every single game that they can, but he just understands that this conference is a grind, and he's just going to keep reiterating that to that guys. That's kind of what he told me after the game, was that this conference is just really a grind. They're going to have to find a way to win some of these games. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the biggest difference being that we actually got serves in to play.
Yeah,
I mean,
much
we had
better.
22 versus maybe 8 or 9 or 10. I mean, way better serving wise, but because they were also able to serve really well too, versus like Clark having such a huge problem with it last week. I think that kept us out of system a lot, and we just weren't able to get to the net. And with Ike being able to, or Eli, whoever, just being able to really deliver a hard blow. And I think they're a better defensive team than Clark was. So I mean, it was a good matchup, and it was nice for us to come away with a really solid set. But it's overall, again, things you're going to get out of a mostly freshman team, of just a lot of inexperience and a lot of inconsistency. One great set, one horrible set, and so, but learning.
Yep.
So, track and field.
They went to Des Moines to compete in the Grandview Field meet.
And prior to that, I guess we probably interrupt. Sorry. They're supposed to go up to UNI obviously last Friday, and then it got snowed out. So that, unfortunately, Mother Nature stepping in there, and they were hoping to get a lot of individuals into action at UNI at the Jack Jennett Open, but fortunately not. So we just had the throwers and the jumpers going on Tuesday. But sorry.
Yeah, and they really had a lot of success down there. Sage Arisman and Fenelade both captured titles. Fenelade, I believe, was tied for first, and then Sage Arisman won the shot put outright. Fenelade winning the high jump with a height of 6-1.25.
Yeah. 6'1 and a quarter.
Yeah, 6'1 and a quarter. Sorry.
Anyway, that's unfortunately not a really great height. I'm sure he wasn't happy with that. But when you get a midweek
you're not
event like that, I think it throws everything off as far as when you're preparing and stuff like that. But it was good for them to get some competition again at least. So.
Yeah, and then they also had some nice outings from Jasper Stottlemyre, who finished 5th in the shot put, and then Malik Williams placed 4th in the free throw. Once again, there was only 2 teams that competed, so it was more or less a duel. But that those are two teams that are pretty deep, and you had a lot of people getting some action, and really I thought the Statesmen did well. And then on the women's side, Shelby Williams, she guided the women. She had a runner-up effort in the shot put, and then Atlanta Van Arsdale took the bronze in the weight throw.
Yeah. So. And Grandview's probably the best throws team in the conference. So if we're able to stack up with them, with at least our best people, then it's good. I know Coach, I think his quote to you, wasn't it something to the effect of, at least we moved up in the conference standings and a bunch of things, so bettered our position to possibly make make conference and stuff.
And that right there makes it all worth it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Like I said, a little weird going midweek like that, but at least they got in competition considering they lost the Jack Jennett. So. All right, women's basketball, it'll be the same as the men here, but on Saturday going to Benedictine, and on Monday going to Graceland, and the women picking up a couple wins there. Neither one terribly impressive. The Benedictine game definitely much more impressive, being that Benedictine was number 26, we were 27, and going on the road there, beating them 53-44, excuse me. Offense has obviously struggled a lot there. We made enough plays. They had, I think, within 3 points in the final a few minutes. We closed it out with a 7-1 run. But for the most part, the whole second half, much of the game for that matter, at least second quarter and second half, most of it was a double-digit lead. So we were, in control. We only shot 35%, but we held them to 28%. So a big deal there, and got the season sweep against a Benedictine team that's again, they were 26. They've fallen off now the last few games, so. They were definitely not ranked as of yesterday's poll, but Olivia Usher, Katie Latello both with 11 points. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
No, I was just going to say they're a very quality team.
Yeah, they're a really solid team. I mean, we had to win that. I mean, you want to win them all, but you definitely need to win as many as you can against these top 6-7 teams that we're running against a huge buzzsaw coming up against a lot of these teams in the next week or so. Team only had 8 turnovers. Great job there with ball control. Great job at the free throw line as well, which may have honestly been the difference. I think they shot 50%, and we ended up shooting 12 out of 13, which is great there. They out-rebounded us, but when it's all said and done, they only outscored us 11-8 in second chance points, so didn't really let that hurt us and came away with the victory there. And then Graceland, completely other end of the spectrum there, a team that's winless in conference, and we had to go on the road, though, to Lamoni. Really ugly first half, only up 32-27. Bounced back in the second half, held them to 25% shooting, ended up winning 63-48. Really started hot in the second half. They pulled it. They made the first bucket, pulled it within 2. Then we go on a 13-0 run, and it's never close after that. Katie Latello, 18 points. She never came out of the game, which was an interesting thing for me. That's obviously she was having a game because there was just people that couldn't replace her and take her out for a little bit, but she played all 40 minutes. So unless the stats were wrong, but that's a bit of an anomaly. So great for Kate to have a game like that. And
what that tells me is that she was locked in on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, she was doing everything.
Yeah, because a lot of times, when we see Coach Williamson go to the bench, it's usually from a defensive mistake, rotation mistake, something like that. Nothing against Kate at all. It's just going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
And that's just what that proves to me right there. And he's trusting his senior to, we're getting to that point in the season where it's not do or die or win or go home, but it's getting to that point where you need to really rely on your senior leadership to pull you through.
You got to rely on the people you can deal with that are going to get the job done. You can't be nice anymore.
Yeah.
And Coach Williamson is, rainbows and unicorns anyhow with everything, but he's going to play the people that are going to get you the W in the end, and Kate's obviously playing well.
Yeah, and she's heating up. That's, 3 or 4 games now. She's in double-digit scoring.
Yeah, she's starting to make threes again.
If you have your returning NAIA All-American back into form, and if the defense starts playing well like they have been, that bodes well because Central Methodist is coming to town, and eventually you got to go back to Grandview, and those are the games that will decide where this team finishes.
Right. That's 2 games there where you held the team under 30% shooting, under 50 points total. So, I did it there, definitely on that side. Autumn Voigt had 12 points. Coach Williamson said that was the best in the second half. She played really well. Best half of her William Penn career, so that speaks a lot to how she's progressing as well. Brenda Pennington, even though she's banged up, but she's just gutting it through and making it happen. Just missed a double-double, 10 points and 9 rebounds. Just one additional thing I wanted to add here. I've noticed, and you guys probably have as well, we're a much better second half team, and that's just credit to the ladies making the adjustments, the coaches obviously figuring out what's going to work better and making adjustments. But we've outscored ourselves. First half, we have a total of 605 points in the first half. Second half, we have 698. That's a big difference, you know, through 19 games. I mean, so you're averaging almost 10 points more, you know, per game there and everything. Maybe not that much, but getting stronger every single quarter. Every single quarter, our point total has gone up. So we're getting better as the game goes along. The opposition is too, but we're getting better than they're getting better.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of an interesting stat there.
And it's pretty similar. Last year, they had the same sort of trend where they would come out and the first half would be pretty close, in the second half they would, mostly the third quarter, they would just put teams away.
Yeah.
And that's something that's obviously carried over. As I don't know if that's an anomaly or that's something that credit to Coach Williamson for being able to make the adjustments and
the ladies buying in.
Yes.
They can say whatever this is, and maybe they're just simply forgetting what the game plan was in the first half, and they're like, no, we told you this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But either way, they have to do it. I mean, Coach Williamson can't put the ball in the bucket and play the defense. So it's a team effort there.
Yeah, and if you ask Coach Williamson, he's probably wishing that it wasn't that way. You're wishing he'd come out and just put teams right away. Yeah.
Well, every coach will want that.
Yeah, but
sure.
It's. I think he said the adjusting, buying in, trying maybe their own thing, and then coming back to what they know works, and it all goes good from there.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, do the men's side of these two games as well.
Yeah, Benedictine, what crazy game down there in Atchison. Statesmen unfortunately dropped the game 97-91. That snapped an 11-game win streak for the Statesmen. Now 17-2, 11-2 in the Heart, still in great position. Can't really get discouraged by that one loss, but they just came out and you know what? They got their shots, and for whatever reason, it just seemed like there was a dome over the basket. I mean, they didn't have their first field goal until about 6.5 minutes into the game, which is just it's crazy long. I'd be interested to go back and see how long it has been since the Statesmen have had a run like that where they haven't been able to score a bucket.
Well,
I mean, they scored a free throw early, but it was a field. They didn't have a field goal.
And they had 9 points through 10 minutes. You're going, uh-oh.
Yeah,
and you figure you'd be down 30 to 10 at that point.
And it's so crazy because you watch the game, they were getting good looks, and for whatever reason, they just weren't dropping it. It was just one of those nights. They ended up getting. They ended up going on their run. They had their chance. They were kind of struggling throughout the entire first half. Came out kind of flat again in the second half, but then they went on a 21-7 run, and that cut the lead to 68-60. And that's kind of where the Statesmen kind of hung around, and they got it down to 5, and then got it down to 4 a couple of times, and at the end of the day, it just wasn't in the cards. We've seen the Statesmen do this.
The last two games.
The last, all season. They've had a team where, maybe not all season,
but lately, I mean, we were dominating teams, and all of a sudden we've had some close games. We found ways. Mount Mercy, Central Methodist found ways.
I would say,
this
especially,
one,
it just wasn't in the cards. This is a good Benedictine team. This is a team that won the. They're not as strong as last year, but this is still a team that won the conference tournament last year. They still have some people back from last year that know how to win, and it's down in Atchison. For whatever reason, we've had a loss down at Mid-America and a loss down there at Benedictine. Not an easy. None of those places are very easy to play.
And I think they were celebrating their 100 years of basketball on that last Saturday as well.
Yeah,
so I think they had a bigger crowd that was maybe a little more amped. Sorry, you were going to add something.
It's kind of the inverse of the Mount Mercy game, where perhaps they should have lost. A team that was running draining threes all day, but Statesmen locked it down, made their shots at the end. This one, towards the end of the game, we got it down to 3. But then they couldn't make that hold. They couldn't make that steal. They couldn't get the shot that pulled it within 1, within a tie, take a lead. Yeah. They just inched ever so closer and couldn't really get there. Yeah. And unfortunately, took the loss.
Yeah, but on the bright side, perhaps 2 of the best performances we've seen all year from a couple fellas. Kevion Blaylock, he had a huge double-double, or season high, 26-point season high, 16 rebounds for him, and then Nate Gehring, 17 points and 10 boards. I mean, those guys, they once they got it going, they really found a way to get it going. They tried to carry the team on their back a little bit.
Yeah, and they were pounding it down low towards the end of the game. That's how they started coming back.
Yeah, and
it's nice to say because we thought for sure going into this year that was going to be our weakness is not having that post presence, and KB has shown that. I mean, he's averaging 10. I mean, it's only a small sample size, but he's averaging over 10 rebounds a game. So he's getting it done, scoring and crashing the boards.
Yeah,
so that's huge.
Yeah, and then you have Nate Gehring or Eddie Daly, who they're essentially, they don't look like the same player, but on the stat sheet they're essentially the same player. What you're gonna get. They Eddie Daly might be able to shoot a little better
Yeah.
from beyond the arc,
sure.
but in the post they're pretty similar players. So there's not really a big drop off between either of those two, and that's just a luxury to have if you're the Statesman. I mean,
yeah, it's a luxury if you have Daly who can shoot a three. Otherwise, you're not expecting your big guy to start draining him from deep.
Right.
Exactly. So tough loss, but we'll.
Yeah,
They
we
moved
weren't
on.
going
They
undefeated
moved on.
anyhow, so whatever. Maybe that's a good wake-up call, and I think it was because you talk about Monday's game now.
Oh yeah, Monday's game against Grayson. I mean, they came out and they did not
Disappoint.
or they didn't take it easy.
It was
They
complete
went-
opposite as far as starting.
Yeah, complete opposite. They began the game with a 15-0 run, and they were really playing with some energy. You could really tell that Benedictine game, kind of left a chip on their shoulder a little bit. They knew that they had to play better, play with more energy. They ended up taking this one 106-92, and really the game wasn't even that
never
close.
that close.
They Grayson went on a little run at the end. I think you'd mentioned
it was like almost 13-0 or something in the final 2 minutes. So it should have been well.
Really
over
wasn't
20,
that close,
but...
and they shot the ball really well. Shot 56% from the field, 34% from beyond the arch. Those are typical Statesman numbers we're accustomed to seeing this season, and they held Graceland to just 38% from the field. And another big performance by Kevion Blaylock, and he had 26 points, 12 boards, 5 assists. Really filled it up. I mean, the guy can do it all on any given night. And he was also 11-13 from the field. I mean, you can't ask for much better outing than that. 2 or 3 from deep.
Yep.
Doesn't shoot the ball from deep a whole lot, but when he does, he's very, very efficient. When he does, he knows how to pick his spots. And then Eddie Daly. We mentioned Eddie Daly and Nate Gehring from last game. I mean, this was Eddie Daly's game. He had 14 points in just over 15 minutes of action. I mean, can't ask for much more off the bench from the big fella out of Michigan. And then Kamari Newman, he had 11 as well, shooting the ball from 3. I think he was.
You're forgetting the most obvious one.
Oh, Dexter Hood. Oh my
He's
goodness!
I'm gonna let you stop.
It's sitting right there.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest game.
Yeah, biggest game of the year. So
And
far.
it's the
was held
second
in
time
check
actually
by
he's scored
Benedictine.
37 points in a season
Yeah.
or in a game
Yeah.
this season. 37 points and.
Again, he was 11 out of 13, 11 out of 14 shooting.
I don't have it on here.
Yeah, I think they were both the same. I think they were 11 out of 14 or something.
Yeah, sorry, Dexter, if you watch this. I mean, he and we led
Talk
for
about
buzzer
a
to buzzer.
show.
Yeah, I mean he was feeling himself. He was playing a lot of confidence and.
He had 24 at half or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was blowing it up for most of it in the first half.
Yeah, and then Chance Crusoe, he was the chosen facilitator this time around, and he had 9 assists.
Yeah, it's so nice to have Crusoe and Faison. I think they're both just shy of 6 assists per game, so they're both just
This team
being
is
completely unselfish and making sure that a guy like Dexter or KB or if it's Eddie or Nate, so many different scorers can get it, and they're just finding the guys.
Yep.
And, doing that's all they need to do is find the open guys. So, nice rebound win for sure, and getting us ready for a 1-2 matchup tonight. So,
and as Coach Henry said, Dexter and KB were beasts tonight.
They were beasts. Definitely beasts. Yeah, everything 63 total points or combining for 63. All right, then finally wrestling. Hosted Grandview, number one Grandview last Friday, and unfortunately, as we more or less expected, the Vikings they outmatched us. It was exactly what we thought it would be. So it was 54-0 loss. Best match of the night was a really close 2-0 battle for Joe Eads at 149. But
man, it's such a bummer because there was a couple times where you thought he was about to flip that guy
he's
and
going to get away, or he's going to
something.
get a reversal or something. He was in position a couple times. Really
So
thought that he had to
close,
reverse.
so
Almost had to
close.
get pinned
Almost
with
had
it.
Almost had a big takedown at the end of the second period. That would have definitely put them up 2-1. The Statesmen, it would have put Joe up 2-1, and who knows what can happen. That would have been a big upset.
It would have been a nice win for them, but unfortunately, like I said, they're number one for a reason. So, moving forward, we'll see what the team can do, especially Joe. So, all right, when we come back, we are going to be sitting down with head men's volleyball coach Luke Bentley, as well as freshman student athlete CJ Rettig. So you're inside the playbook. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, Statesman Nation. I'm now joined by head men's volleyball coach Luke Bentley, as well as freshman student athlete CJ Rettig out of Sierra Madre, California. Easier said than done, right? All right, guys, thanks so much for coming in for a few minutes. Coach, talk to you for a second first. we're not going to go all the way back and talk about day one, starting the program, but let's talk about this year, day one practice, and maybe if you want to talk about getting the guys on campus in August already, and just kind of the progression of where we are now at the end of January.
We started this year in 2020, January 4th, and we have been going ever since. So we're not quite a month in, and it's been a good 3 or 4 weeks so far. We had the fall to kind of get our feet wet a little bit, but this is obviously the time that we're really getting into things, really learning a lot. So it's been a good 3 or 4 weeks, but we're at the same time we're still figuring things out.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys are just kind of getting used to playing college volleyball, and I know we'll talk about the matches in a second, but we're 2 matches in, so getting used to what it's like to play at the college level. But it's been good so far. It's been a good, almost month, and the guys have handled things well, and we're really excited moving forward. So, it's just we're at the point where we're young and we're trying to figure things out. So a month in, still early.
Yeah, I mean, every day I'm sure is a big learning process
right.
of just figuring out. It's one of those, literally you're learning something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's recap those first 2 matches. You had a by-setter loss in the inaugural program's first match against Clark last Tuesday, and then a 4-set loss against Graceland. So right out of the gate, starting with 2 conference foes, which obviously those matches hold a little more importance and everything. Everybody gets up for those a little bit more, but you guys were in it, both times. So you got to definitely think that take away a lot of positives out of it. Yes, you lost, but
the first one was an awesome atmosphere. If anyone was in the pack Tuesday the 21st. It was a great match. We feel like we had a really good chance to win, and that's kind of all we thought about going into the first one, was just putting ourselves in a position to be successful, and we feel like we did that. And so that was the biggest thing, and so that's the takeaway there, is that the guys battled really hard, and we feel really good about what we did on the first night. Played a Clark team that has had a lot of success recently, and we're a little bit older, and so to go into night one and do what we did, I think was a really good start for us. Then came back, like you said, with another conference opponent 2 days ago, and Graceland's similar. They have a lot of older guys, and they're experienced, and I think some of our inexperience showed a little bit more on Tuesday. It's kind of funny. Volleyball is just so hot and cold. We end up getting beat pretty good the first set, and end up beating them pretty good the second set. And so that's going to be a trend that we're going to try to hopefully stop a little bit, where we can be a little more consistent throughout. But at the same time, just like I said, we're working towards what we're trying to do at the end of the year here, and so we're not worried about playing our best volleyball in January. We're worried about doing that in March, and so we feel good about what we've been doing, though. We feel good about the progress we've made, and every match we're probably going to learn new things. And the best part about it is we get these teams twice in conference, so playing them a second time is going to be nice. But like you said, every day and every match it's new, and even though we've played 2 collegiate matches so far, every team does different things,
right?
And we're not used to some of that, and every team plays a different style, and for us to get used to that is going to take a while, and so. But we feel really good about where we're at. We feel good about the progress that we've made and the guys we have. And the most important thing is that the guys still are bought in, and we believe in what we're doing, and we feel really good about the next couple of months, and then after that.
Right, definitely. CJ, all right, I'll talk to you for a second here. Talk about your background in volleyball. It's an up and coming sport, but in Iowa we don't sponsor it, so there's probably like 50 kids total in the whole state that actually play it. Obviously, different situation in California, but talk about kind of how you got into it, and we'll roll from there.
Yeah, so I'd say it started with middle school, really.
Okay.
I was never the athlete or kid to play one sport and one sport only, and that's why I kind of I didn't really specialize it until I came here. I started middle school. I want to say 8th grade. Like the 8th grade team. Got into high school, started playing football, basketball, and volleyball.
Right.
Then played those sports, and then picked up soccer later on. So I played volleyball 4 years, but I was on JV freshman year.
Yeah.
But it's just I picked up something new from every season that kind of made me grow as a volleyball player myself. But it was also playing those other sports that you pick up little life lessons in sports, how to compete, how to win, how to lose, face adversity in certain times. and that's kind of where I've gotten my volleyball style here today. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really helped progress myself to the point where I am today.
So why did you stick with volleyball? Obviously, a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Assuming you had success in all of them, but why did volleyball really stick?
Volleyball. My mom played in college.
Okay.
I just felt like I had so much more to prove with it. Football, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I didn't feel like playing at the next level. Exactly. Soccer, it was just brand new, tough world for soccer. It's very international based. But volleyball, I had something to prove. I feel like I still had to go out there, and I feel like I still have so much potential to give out.
Yeah. All right. Talk about choosing William Penn. Obviously, coming from out in California, it's warm. We don't have a foot and a half of snow on the ground. It stays above freezing, all of that, and we don't have any oceans. We don't have any beaches. But so why William Penn?
So I came out here on a visit. I mean, I knew I was going to play volleyball, and I knew I kind of get away from California just because the atmosphere over there is so competitive. It's almost like you have to start playing club since you're very little to be able to go to a school out there. So I started searching out here, found Coach Bentley. My dad sent me a little letter, and I think I came out here on a visit, was here very briefly, and I just loved what he was preaching and what he wanted to do with the program, and I knew I could fit in here really well. And I mean, our first game, like, why wouldn't you want to be here?
Yeah.
Like, you see that atmosphere, the community base here is just so special, and I've loved every part of it.
Yeah. Talk about that first match or the first couple matches. Obviously the atmosphere was, electric to say the least. Last Tuesday, how much, were you guys able to feed off of that? Knowing that I'm sure you guys were nervous as heck and everything, and trying to show well for the fans. But again, how much were you able to feed off of that?
Yeah, it was a big moment for all of us there. 13 out of 15 are freshmen, 14 out of 15 are playing their first volleyball game in college. So I mean, I just thought it was so special just to be there at the moment.
Yeah.
But as you get into it, you see the crowd, you see the lights, you get all that, and then once you're 1 point in, you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
and
this
then
is it
you
now.
can take a breath, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just volleyball again.
Yeah. So I mean, it was all special for us. We're so thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, it was just we learn a little bit each game. We pick up things that the other teams do well, because they have a little more experience than us. So I think we pick up something from each team, bring it to our side, and then that's how we will progress our game going forward.
A lot of learning done, a lot of things you figured out from match 1 into match 2, and then now 2 days later after Graceland again.
Yeah, exactly. Match 1, hard fought game.
Yeah.
We didn't give up. I mean, we knew we had every chance to win that. Then we went along to Graceland. Didn't have as much consistency. We didn't find a consistent rhythm, I'd say. So as a young team, you just have to piece things out, learn how to play all together, solid ball, where it's at a consistent level, so we can control the game ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Let's actually I'll come back to Coach here for a second, give you a breather. Talk about CJ a little bit. What he's bringing to the team, just overall aspects of how is he bettering the William Penn men's volleyball team.
Yeah, CJ does a really good job for us on and off the court for multiple reasons. On the court, he's consistent, which is like he kind of just talked about. We got to get consistent as a team. But does a good job in serve receive as an outside hitter. That's important. Does a good job offensively. He's a good all-around player. That's the reason why they wanted to recruit him. He does a good job. And like he said already, his potential is really high, and we have a lot of big things planned for him in the future. So we love him on the court. He works really hard, and we continue to rely on him when we need him. Off the court, he does a great job. In doing what we ask all of our guys to do, which is buy in and be a great teammate and be a great person and understand what we're trying to accomplish here. So yeah, he's great for all of it. I think a lot of his teammates would agree with that, and we're really excited that he came to William Penn. So it's a really good fit for everyone.
Right. CJ, talk about that word potential. It's going to be a word I'm sure you hear a lot, and it's like, not just for yourself, but as a team right now, we have potential to do this, we have potential to do that. It's going to take time, but we'll get there. as a first-year program, I'm sure you guys want to come in. Obviously, the goal is like, hey, let's be 30-0 and let's win the national title, and it's just going to be this, storybook, situation. But reality is you guys are going to have to take lumps. It's going to be a learning process. But how important is it to build this foundation for what is to come? I know it's a difficult thing. Like I said, you're kind of looking at the future for what's going to come 5-10 years later when you're done, but you can say I started that. So setting that culture right.
Yeah, I think Coach Bentley did a great job insisting on all of us that coming in here you're going to buy into a 4-year program. Brand new program, yes, but you can't look at the first year. You have to look at the potential of the future. You're going to go through the bumps and bruises of a season, but that's what's going to prepare you for the future almost. So I think everyone's done a great job of buying themselves into the program. They know, we're going to take some hits there. So I think it's part of, this growing program. You want to have that success. At the same time, you need to learn how to lose. You need to learn how to face adversity at certain aspects of the game.
Yeah, I think more than any other team on campus, outside of, throwing in lacrosses and, what we'll have next year with our other 3 new sports, you guys are going to get quite the education here in 4 years, and versus other sports that have been around for a long time, and they're just not they're not going to have those opportunities to say I learned a lot more myself because I had to just take that learning lesson day after day after day, and kind of get beat up a little bit, but again the humility you guys will take from all this is going to be pretty instrumental. So, all right, Coach, one final thing from you, and then I'm going to finish with CJ. But let's talk about the expectations for the rest of this year. What you're hoping to build towards as we're getting into when you end up in April, I guess.
Yeah. It's still hard to say because we're only 2 games in, but I think expectations are to continue to do what we're doing. And we firmly believe that if we keep doing that, the results will come, and we'll get some wins out of it. We don't talk too much in wins and losses, though, and so we're not driven by that. We're much more worried about how we operate as a team and what kind of progress we can make. So we fully expect to keep doing what we're doing. I think we're started out on the right foot, and we're going to keep doing that. And I think hopefully with every match that people watch, they see us progress and get better, and that's kind of the goal. And so I think the guys have a little bit of a goal to win some more games and maybe compete for the conference tournament to get a spot in there. But at the same time, I think if we keep doing what we're doing, we'll be in a position to do that. So we expect to, like I said, to keep moving forward and to keep doing what we're doing. I don't think that changes too much. But we'll see. We're still really early on, so plenty of season to go.
Yeah, a lot of lessons to be learned, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. CJ, we'll finish off here. Got some furious 4 questions. It's been a while since I popped these off to our student athletes. So 4 totally random questions. But all right, you said have done a lot of sports. If you're not doing volleyball, what other sport would you like to be playing right now?
I'd be a goalkeeper in soccer.
Okay, all right. What are you currently binge watching on Netflix or Hulu or Prime?
That's a tough one. I just got Disney Plus, so that was a good one. Started watching Teen Beach Movie, old throwback.
Right.
It's always a good one. So,
yeah. Okay. Describe Coach Bentley in 1 word. He's here, so you got to be.
Yeah. It's a good one. I'd say understanding.
Okay.
Very understanding.
All right, and finally, I didn't have this. I had to pop it off my top of my head. I forgot the 4th one. But what does your perfect breakfast look like?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I'd say, you gotta go with a country breakfast style.
Okay.
Biscuits and gravy,
Nice.
maybe with a bacon and cheese omelet as well.
Like it.
It's definitely
Carb loading, right?
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow morning for getting ready for the match, right?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Best of luck the rest of the year. Again, Dort tomorrow night, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Dort tomorrow night up in Sioux Center. First road trip, so
Yep.
it should be an interesting one.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, men's volleyball coach Luke Bentley, as well as freshman student athlete CJ Rettig. Thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. When we come back, we will be previewing all of next week's games, including this Dort matchup for the men's volleyball team. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, Statesman Nation. We're going to be sitting down for a couple minutes here, previewing next week's games, including starting tonight here. Big doubleheader for both the men's and women's basketball team. On the women's side, This is number 19 Pride team coming in. We're number 20. A lot of implications moving forward here for national tournament berth. We won 69-62 2 months ago up in Dubuque. Held them, mostly trying to get them on the perimeter, trying to keep that ball away from Kanahasi, and they only shot 26%. Held 26% three-pointers, 39% overall. Big game for Pennington last time with 20. Haley Molinex had 16. Somebody's going to have to step up this game as well. Haasi's going to get her points, and just hope that we can counter that and hold some other people down and just get some home cooking. So
yeah, I have a feeling it might be Kate Delatello. She's been the hot
it
hand
could be.
at the plate. So
yeah, it could be.
And then you never know between Reardon, Voigt, West, or Usher, one of them is bound to get in double digits.
Yeah, let's hope that somebody can can do something. It's going to take more than just one like Brennan Pennington 20 or Kate Delatello 20. There's going to have to be a really balanced attack. We're going to have to do it inside and out. So.
Yeah, and then over on the men's side, we take on Clark, or the men take on Clark as well. Clark, this is a good Clark team.
They're number 2 in the conference.
Yeah, probably a much better, much improved Clark team than what we've seen in the past. They're 15-6 on the season, 11-4 in the Heart, and they're coming off of a big 94-90 win over Mount Mercy.
Yeah, they were down late, and I think they went on like a 20-10 run down the stretch to pull that one out. So they're playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, a lot of confidence, and they're going to come in here and they're going to give us our best. They're going to want to come and make a statement here tonight. So
yeah,
I'm expecting.
Well, they beat us here last year.
Yes.
Last year's a different team, obviously, that we had, but they've given us really good games last couple years.
Yeah, and this is a big game for them.
Yep.
It's like Peru State a couple weeks ago, where you're knocking on the door on the top team in the conference.
Yeah. And we shut the door on them.
Yeah.
And I think we can, again, tonight we have to take care of business.
I'm expecting a very high energy. Hopefully there's a nice crowd out. Statesman Nation come out, support.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a great couple of games. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then Saturday the teams go down to Springfield, Missouri for Evangel doubleheader. And on the women's side, that was the game of the year. I think that will definitely go on the Statesman Awards as one of the nominees when you have we're down 10 inside of 5 minutes left, chip it all the way down, final play of the regulation, Brennan Pennington knocking down a three-pointer at the buzzer, forces overtime. We win in overtime, shot 58% in the second half and overtime combined, so figured them out late on. So they're going to be all sorts of probably mad to want to play us and even up the season series, so that'll be a really good battle again with an Evangel team that is not ranked or receiving votes, but they're just on the outside trying to maybe steal. I mean, they're probably going to have to win the conference tournament to get into nationals, but they're very capable, a very good team.
Yeah, definitely. And on the guys' side, they're playing an Evangel team that's 12-8, 8-6 in the Heart. Hovering around solid team, and going down south is
not easy.
It's not easy.
6 hours.
Yeah, one of the longer.
That's why they're going down Friday, and hopefully getting not just coming off the bus, so they're going to be well rested and be ready for it. But
Evangel, they're coming off an emotional win over Mount Mercy, where they took it 91-89. So another close win for them, and good couple of tests for the Statesmen here as we head down the stretch.
Yeah, and there's always always a big crowd down in Evangel. Their fans really get behind them, and again, the longest trip of the year. We have definitely not been playing as good on the road. Both of our losses coming on the road, a couple tight ones on the road. So we're going to have to figure that out and come out to the gate early and maybe just punch them right in the schnoz and move forward. So, but anyhow, and then a busy week as it is. You like the schnoz, huh?
I was going to ask, where is precisely is the schnoz?
Schnoz is in this area right here. All right. So, and then ending the next 7-day week here, Grandview doubleheader in Des Moines. On the women's side, the women will be looking to avenge a TP night loss there, 60-38 back in November, game that you guys covered. Thank you again for that. But that was a game. Interesting side note, we gave up 4 points on technical fouls. So that means right there, should have been 56-53. What happens when it's, obviously that's all speculation and you can what ifs, but, that's a game would have been even closer. Yeah. Kate Delatello had 17 in that game, but we only shot 28% and 20% in the first half. So that's one we'd really like to get back, and it's going to be another big one. That's a team that's just outside of receiving votes section. So for the next 5 or so games, almost every single one of them is huge as far as playoff implications, etc. So
yeah, and then the guys' side, Grandview, not as strong as they have been in recent years. They're 6-14 overall, 4-11 in the heart. They're coming off of a 85-58 loss to Benedictine for Statesmen. We just have to go there and take care of business. Don't get wrapped up in the emotion of it's a rivalry game. They're fans are
going to get pumped.
Yeah, and I know we're sending. I believe I heard that we're sending a bus down there, rally bus, and
wouldn't surprise me.
There's going to be some fans down there, so looking forward to another high energy game. And we lost there last year.
Yeah.
So maybe we want to go there and avenge a loss there from us.
Yeah, you don't want to get trapped in there because that would, with them being kind of towards the bottom of the conference, that would be a real knock.
Yeah, and that's one again.
Yeah, it's a trap
game.
Go
take the lead early and take the crowd out of it, take them out of it, and then just get the win and come back home. So again, 3 big games though for both the men and women this next week. Wrestling. Last regular tournament of the year. I say that because there's a freshman, sophomore type tournament that Central's hosting, but this is the last regular tournament, Missouri Valley Open on Saturday. Obviously we're shorthanded. We'll send out whoever we send out down to Marshall and see what we can get out of it. You have men's volleyball and baseball.
Track and field as well.
And track and field. You finish up.
Busy.
Yeah, so men's volleyball, they're traveling to Sioux Center, Iowa to take on Dort. Dort, pretty good team, small sample size, 2-0. They do have wins over St. Norbert and Viterbo. So a couple good wins for them there. And then that's on the road on Friday. And then we return home on Tuesday to host Grandview. Grandview,
number one in the nation.
So they're 5-1.
Watch the all-freshman team go out and sweep the number 1 team in the nation for their first ever win.
That would be an amazing story. That would be a heck of a story. So,
but why not? They might as well go out and play hard.
Yeah, they're coming off of a straight win set of Mount Mercy. Yeah. So see what the freshmen could do against some real tough, experienced volleyball players and a volleyball team. If anything, you're gonna see at least what the top of the top looks like, and you can learn from that.
That's what you can look at, and what do we have to do to get better?
Yes.
And that'll be Coach Bentley can go back to the video and say, all right, this is why we're not beating teams because we're not doing this. Yes, do we have Felix Chapman or whatever? No, but there are certain things you'll be able to say we can do this. We can do this better, and this is how we're going to improve this year.
Yeah, so by far the toughest test for them. And then track and field. This week is heading to the Grinnell Invite in Grinnell, Iowa. Yep. Let's see Sage and Shelby Williams, Elena Van Arsdale, Fanalade, Tristan Elmore. Let's see what all they can do.
Yeah, hopefully Kayla Music will finally be ready to go.
Shania Newby's been running really well. So
the rumor is that the distance medley relay is primed to potentially run against the school record.
Oh, okay.
That's the rumor I heard.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, there's some.
We're talking on the
men's side.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you got the likes of Vernon Trozy and I'm just drawing blanks. William DeJesus, etc. I mean, they had some solid guys that probably one of these. They're probably better at track than cross country thing. Mm-hmm. They weren't bad. We just didn't have obviously a full team of really cross country guys, but maybe they're all about really good 800, 1200 meter type dudes and go out and do really good in the DMR. I can see that.
Yeah, and then opening day for baseball. It's only
January.
Beginning of February.
Excuse me.
But it will be actually the last day of January. So yeah, January baseball for the Statesmen.
Yeah, that's the first time ever in my career that we've played in January. So.
Yeah, and
looks like they're going to get it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get in. The weather looks all right. They're heading down to St. Louis to take on Harris Stowe. I believe they're playing one game at a minor league complex or an independent league complex in O'Fallon, Missouri, which is full turf field. Apparently, it's super nice facility. So they're all jazzed up and ready to go for that. Harris Stowe, on the other hand, they've already played 8 games. This is a team that's 6-2. Wow. Most notably, taking a split with Viterbo, and then they swept Ohio Christian University in 4 games as well. So let's see what the Statesmen do. Defending regular season Hart champs. I know Coach Laird. He's very excited for this group of guys, and a lot of guys returning last year. A really strong nucleus, particularly on the pitching staff. Good guys returning, and then. Some guys added on to that.
Yeah, this would be a great way early to look at your team and say, all right, this is what we have, and this is what we need to work on. You got a lot of time to work on it. So
Yeah.
it should be a lot of fun. It'll be chilly.
That's a
but
3-game series,
Yeah,
by the way.
3-game series, right.
One on Friday and then a doubleheader on Saturday.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. We got everything else. You're still off for bowling for a little while, and
Yep.
softball you'll have in a couple weeks as well. But
Mhm.
and then again lacrosse starting in a few weeks, so we're crossover seasons. We're right about there. All right. Anything else? We good, guys?
No.
I think we covered.
No.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Thanks once again, Wade Steinluggy, Jared Goodman, Justin Burtis. We got everything Statesmen Athletics on statesmenathletics.com. Until next time, you're inside the playbook, and go Statesmen.
Peace.